Okay. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is just wanting to be very difficult for me. All right. Can everybody see that? Oh, we've got more people in my waiting room. Hello, we're just getting started. Okay, we'll start out with a little shout out to our sponsor for the Talent Tuesday series, Plant Moran. Plant Moran is among the nation's largest accounting, tax, consulting, and wealth management firms and provides a full line of services to organizations in the following industries: manufacturing and distribution, financial services, service, healthcare, private equity, public sector, real estate, construction, and energy. This year, 2024, they are proudly celebrating 100 years. Plant Moran has a staff of more than 3,300 professionals throughout the United States, with international offices in Shanghai, China, Mumbai, India, Tokyo, and Monterrey, Mexico. In Colorado, Plant Moran has served its Colorado clients for more than 40 years, with offices in Broomfield, Denver, and Fort Collins. Plant Moran has been recognized by a number of organizations, including Fortune magazine, as one of the country's best places to work. For more information, visit plantmoran.com. That's PLANTEMORAN.com. So thank you, Plant Moran, for sponsoring our series. So we'll get started here. My name is Heather Everett. I'm the Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship Manager here at the Fort Collins Area Chamber of Commerce. I actually started in healthcare. I spent 20 years in healthcare before and made it through COVID. And then after that, realized I needed to take a little break and did a career change. And I ended up coming here to the chamber, working on a grant called the Work-Based Learning Incentive Program. And that was a state grant that incentivized businesses for trying work-based learning. That wrapped up in July, and I was then hired on at the chamber full-time to continue my work in work-based learning and apprenticeships, helping businesses dive into that world and use them as strategies for building their talent. I live here in Fort Collins and have enjoyed doing that, enjoy the mountains and everything else here. So I'm excited to get started on this. Okay, so apprenticeships. And I say demystifying apprenticeships because it really is something that creates some confusion and sometimes a little bit of a scary word for some people. But the ability for a business to grow and retain their talent is really critical to long-term success and growth. And apprenticeships are something that showed up over 100 years ago, and that now they are becoming more popular as a tool for growing and retaining your talent. However, there are a lot of misconceptions about apprenticeships, and we're going to address some of those today, while also talking to you at the end about how these might benefit you. But the place to start is wondering what in the world an apprenticeship is. And the first misconception that people have is that an apprenticeship is only for the skilled trades. And yes, this is true historically, that the skilled trades were the most common place to see apprenticeships. You saw them in building and construction, in manufacturing, and that was the case for a long time. However, that is no longer the case. And today, apprenticeships are being used in many, many industries, such as healthcare and finance, advanced manufacturing, hospitality. And we also have new and emerging industries that are finding apprenticeships to be an excellent way to bring in top talent. And that is in climate science and innovation, AI technology, cybersecurity, and so many more that I can't possibly name them all. Apprenticeships and internships. This is one of the biggest things that I found confusing, not only when I initially was learning about it, but especially when talking to businesses. We oftentimes will hear apprenticeship and internship used interchangeably. And while they are all work-based learning experiences, they are very different. An internship is a professional experience, but these are not professional employees. These are individuals who are trying to learn more about potential careers. They're trying to get some experience in the workplace, and they hopefully will be able to determine if this is something that they want to do. These are typically 3 to 12 months in duration. There's obviously exceptions to that, but that's usually your average. And while they aren't only students that participate in internships, it is most often associated with high school and college students. So these opportunities really allow these learners to be in the workplace, to take what it is that they're learning outside and possibly their education and apply that to a real world situation. This isn't about just pushing brooms in the back room. This is actual work experience. Additionally, businesses do get the opportunity to get these fresh ideas and energy into their business and potentially build their talent pipeline. So individuals they may want to hire in the future, and they have the opportunity to help them develop those skills. Internship opportunities can be paid, unpaid, or school credit for work. It is always encouraged to do a paid internship, but they don't have to be. Now, on the other side of things, you have apprenticeship, and apprentices are paid permanent employees. This is a vital part of apprenticeship. These are not temporary opportunities. These are about earn while you learn is oftentimes the term you will hear, but these are individuals that are employees of the business, and that business is then paying them as well as offering them this opportunity to gain experience and upskill. These are structured programs that combine on-the-job training with guided when guided by experienced mentors. And then that is in conjunction with related classroom instruction, and that's called RTI, related instruction. I just wrote it down, related training instruction. And the RTI is a huge component of an apprenticeship. So we obviously want that on the job training. Having the mentorship is huge, but this does have to include related instruction for that particular occupation. Additionally, these programs are much longer. They can be between 1 and 4 years, depending on the industry and occupation. And that can be measured in a number of ways. By time as well as by competency, but they are long-term programs. This isn't an overnight process. Another misconception, apprenticeships are unaffordable for the employer. So there's no way around it. Apprenticeship programs do cost the employer some money. There are wages to pay the apprentices. There's associated costs of being an employer. There's also the cost of the related instruction, and many employers cover that cost either in full or in part. So during the course of the apprenticeship, the employer is incurring costs. However, one of the big things about apprenticeships that's been studied over the last decade or so, in particular, by universities, industries, and the U.S. Department of Labor, is that these initial costs are recovered within the 1 to 2 years after the employee completes the apprenticeship. And when we say recovered, that's actually referring to 2 different types of benefits. You have the value of that employee's productivity, meaning what they're producing has a monetary value, and that helps recover some of those costs. But additionally, there is the value of the indirect benefits, the retention and loyalty that has been shown to come from apprentices who complete their programs with a business. There's also increased productivity and innovation, and an improved business culture, and many other things. If you are interested in reading some of these studies, for some of you who are the type who likes to sit and read an academic study, I do have links to many of those studies that have been done that I'd be happy to provide. So once we get past some of those misconceptions, we do have two different kinds of apprenticeships. We've got a non-registered apprenticeship and a registered apprenticeship. For the purpose of my information today, I'm mostly going to be referring to registered apprenticeship because most of the data that I have is going to be coming from studies that have been done on registered apprenticeship. But that said, you can have non-registered apprenticeships as well. So since apprenticeship is a work-based learning model, any business could develop a program. And there are benefits to a business that want to provide consistent and high-quality training to their employees. Developing an apprenticeship program, a formal program, can help them provide that training to any of their employees. This is an excellent first step if you're interested in a registered apprenticeship in the future, but aren't quite there yet. Sitting down and working through what a program might look like for your business in an apprenticeship format could be an excellent way to start that. Additionally, unregistered apprenticeships are generally not eligible for potential grant funding or tax credits. There are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, these programs are just for your business, and it's something that helps your business, but is not necessarily going to be something that you can find extensive funding for outside of your business funds. Registered apprenticeships, on the other hand, are a type of apprenticeship, but they are formally recognized. And I've noticed here USDOL and SAA, you'll see the definitions down at the bottom. These organizations, so these are recognized and they have specific and very rigorous standards for the structure, the related instruction, and the on-the-job training that these apprenticeships, they have to meet these to be a registered apprenticeship. And it's about maintaining that consistency and that high quality, and it's making sure that each program meets these specific needs. So whereas a non-registered apprenticeship can have a lot of variability in what it is you offer or provide, a registered apprenticeship is going to have to meet certain things with no exception. These can be time-based, competency-based, or a hybrid. So time-based is one that I think many people have probably heard of. They say 2,000 hours of on-the-job training and 144 hours of related instruction. So that's kind of your baseline for your time-based apprenticeships. And what that means is that 2,000 hours has to be completed on the job with mentor. And then for every 2,000 hours, they need to do another 144 hours of related instruction. So classroom time that is related to that particular occupation. So if this program does a total of 4,000 hours, you would need to do 144 hours, say, each year to meet those time-based elements. And then there's competency-based, which is based on the skills and knowledge that are developed through the course of the apprenticeship. And then there's a hybrid of those two. So something can have all those competencies and require a time element as well. Most often apprentices are over 18. That is not a hard and fast rule, but oftentimes you will see that in the 18 and over crowd. They receive a nationally recognized credential upon completion. So this is a big difference between registered and non-registered also. A non-registered apprenticeship will not have a guarantee of a nationally recognized credential, whereas your registered apprenticeship will. And that is important for your apprentices. And oftentimes, the registered apprenticeships then open up opportunities to receive grant funding and tax credits. So something you can pursue when you have a registered apprenticeship program. All right, benefits to business. So we've been talking quite a bit about these misconceptions and what an apprenticeship is. But there are benefits to business, not just to the apprentices. So one of the important parts of a registered apprenticeship is they have this, or any apprenticeship, they have a consistency to them. And ensuring that employees have the right skills for the job is one of the really important aspects of an apprenticeship. You can have amazing individuals in your business. But if they don't have the right skills, how are they going to get those? And an apprenticeship is an excellent way for a business to invest in their employee, to show their employees that they have value, and to build those skills up for the job they're doing. It also minimizes liability costs. So again, properly trained employees who know how to do their jobs and they have the right skills for them, are less likely to have a liability related to them because they know what they're doing. It's very intentional and high quality. Businesses can recruit and develop a highly skilled workforce. So one of the things about a registered apprenticeship is that any individual who's looking for an opportunity can find a registered apprenticeship. And so you can put your program out there and say, we are looking for apprentices. And this is going to attract people who are looking for those types of high quality opportunities to build their skills and to be really embed themselves into a workplace that they want to be a part of. Improving productivity and profitability. So this is something, again, in those studies that have been shown, is that individuals who are going through an apprenticeship program and those who complete them are more productive. And then that can lead to direct benefits for a business in terms of profit. If you have a highly productive employee and workforce, then you will have more success. And those two things are so closely tied. And an apprenticeship is one way to ensure that you can really improve that productivity with your workforce. This is professional development opportunities for your existing employers. So apprenticeships require mentorship. And to have a mentor, you've got to have your experienced folks, and oftentimes it's going to be existing employees. And this is an excellent opportunity for those existing employees to get some professional development and really get into their role as more than just an employee, but also being a mentor. It's very valuable in terms of their skill set, but also the morale and sense of place at a business. Again, access to potential funding opportunities and tax credits. This is for registered apprenticeships mostly. Really an excellent way for a business to really get into this world. Say, well, it can be expensive sometimes. The costs can definitely be prohibitive. But if you can access funding opportunities or get tax credits, that may make that much more possible. And lastly, studies have certainly shown that there is an increase of employee retention during and after an apprenticeship. So this is particularly important. We can find a bunch of amazing people to work for our businesses. However, if you can't keep them, then you're just constantly looking for the amazing people. One of the things apprenticeships have been shown to do is they really create loyalty to the business, and employees want to stay. While they're in the apprenticeship, they are receiving this incredible education and support from their business. And then afterwards, as a result of that, there is a desire to stay with that business. And studies have shown anywhere from 75 to 90% retention of those who complete apprenticeships for a year or more. So again, there's always variability depending on the studies you're looking at. However, any of those numbers are incredible when you put that in comparison to trying to keep an employee who maybe does not have that loyalty to the business. And so is an apprenticeship right for your business? So this is one of the things that I talk with business a lot about. And that is that apprenticeships have these incredible opportunities and things that we don't even have time to dive into today. They can really do a lot for a business, but it doesn't mean it's the right thing right now. And so it's part of a work-based learning continuum. And work-based learning programs can certainly provide a lot of benefit to your business and may be that first step into doing an apprenticeship program. One of the things I do at the Chamber is I help businesses explore what work-based learning options might work for you and help build that plan. And if the registered apprenticeship is the way to go, excellent. We can start working on those connections and everything else. But if not, we can start building the stepping stones to get you there. So if you have a desire to talk about that more, you can certainly reach out to me directly. Like I said in the beginning, I work for the Fort Collins Area Chamber, so you can reach me at the contact information on the screen there, or you can always just call the chamber and they can get you in touch with me. All right, so next Tuesday, we'll be talking more about work-based learning with Stephanie Merrill, who is our K through 12 business liaison for work-based learning and business manager. So she will have some exciting things to say about the connections with our high schools here in the Fort Collins and Larimer County area. And I will open it up to any questions that people might have. I appreciate you listening to me, and it's my first time doing this, so I may have spoken too quickly. So please let me know if you have any questions. Nobody, huh? All right. Well, I know it wasn't a particularly long Talent Tuesday today. This was just dipping our toe into a world that is very rich indeed and very deep, and certainly can't be covered in just 1 hour, but hopefully this brief little introduction to apprenticeships and helping you understand more of what they are so that you can look into them further as a tool for your business. I hope you found that helpful. And again, I'll be on for another 5 minutes or so if you have any questions. If not, this recording will be available on the Fort Collins Area Chamber website, as well as the slides.
I do have a question.
Oh, yes.
Are any of the schools, tech schools, interested in setting up any apprenticeship programs with employers? Or is that just something we would have to reach out to them?
Right. So, so what you're asking is, if any of the schools, do you mean like the high schools, or do you mean colleges and universities?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm located in Pennsylvania, and
Oh.
we have a facility there in Fort Collins. So I'm not totally familiar with what all you have there. Here in Pennsylvania, we have what we call career and technology centers through the high schools.
Yes.
Programs, and then we also have adult programs through there, and we have actually technical schools that have associate degrees.
Yes, so we do have career our CTE programs through our high schools here in northern Colorado. I can't speak to the rest of the state, but in Larimer County, we certainly do. We also have community colleges that run apprenticeship programs as well. I know Andrew, who is here on the call with us. Andrew, you may be able to contribute a little bit to that question as well. But companies or businesses don't necessarily have to develop and create and run their entire program themselves. They can connect to sponsors, to workforce centers, and to other organizations that can help them with that. And that's certainly a part of the conversation that I didn't get into today, where those really in-depth looks at how exactly you do an apprenticeship program and a registered apprenticeship program, but that is certainly something we can look at or that I can help provide information. Andrew, do you have anything to add in that regard?
The only thing that I would add is that we have our state apprenticeship agency, Apprenticeship Colorado. So they're also a good resource to reach out to, especially if you know the type of training, related instruction that you're going to be facilitating for your apprenticeship. They can definitely provide some great advice, and then honestly, they're going to be your final step anyway to processing all of that paperwork and kind of blessing the registered apprenticeship model that you'll have. So it'd be a never too early to introduce yourself to the folks over there.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay.
Yes, I should not have left out Apprenticeship Colorado, so my apologies to them. But yes, absolutely, thank you. Because they are going to be the end all be all on a registered apprenticeship here in the state, because that's who does they rubber stamp it. So Deb, does that help you a little bit with kind of how our structure, being on the East Coast, you certainly, apprenticeships are very much embedded into the culture out there, I know. But does that help you a little bit?
Yeah, I guess like I said, I'm not on the ground there, only a couple times a year, and we just need some resources to try to get something, and I don't know that we would be a registered apprenticeship. I'm looking actually probably for co-ops or a non-registered apprenticeship program at this point,
Sure.
something less formal.
Less formal. Well, you mean, I'd be happy to kind of talk to you about your specific needs, what it is that you're thinking about and looking at in terms of a work-based learning type approach. So if you want to drop me an email or something, I'd be happy to chat with you a little bit about that or schedule a meeting. And then I can direct you if I'm not the right person, or if I'm like, hey, there's somebody better to talk to. If Andrew were the one to go, I'd send you right his way. But I can help connect you to the right people if I'm not the right person for you.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, are there any other questions?
This was great, Heather. These are the, this kind of landscape of this apprenticeship model is kind of neat. It's not new, but I feel like the rules aren't really well defined. So it's always nice just to kind of get back to basics and keep those in mind. So I appreciate you hosting this today and allowing me to be here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Andrew. And thank you to everybody else who joined, and those of us who watch, those of you who watch the video later. Feel free to contact me or the chamber if you have further questions. Thanks so much.